I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance. I'm Jess.
I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance, and you're watching the NWCA podcast, the only wrestling podcast out there that doesn't just talk wrestling history. We show history, and not only do we show history, Wes, we're showing history for the 25th time, bro.
I know, isn't that awesome? 25 episodes in, and we're not even at a year. So this is so awesome. 25. We're like, wow.
Yeah.
25. Jesse, 25.
Yeah, our old one, we only had like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
So, and then we wanted to really do this. And then, we offered the guy the idea. He said he didn't have time, and here we are. So
we made it happen ourselves.
We definitely did, and this is a huge celebration episode today. We tried to find one of the biggest cards in our history, and we're going to do what we do best and show everything from our collections to celebrate with everybody out there that's a part of our Facebook group. No,
because
I shaved and I look like Drew Carey now.
You do look like Drew Carey, and yes, I did notice you have shaved.
It went too low?
You've taken a little bit off.
Yeah, I went too low on one side, so then I got to readjust, right? I almost lost my girlfriend over it. Anyways, but you know what we're not going to lose is our viewers because they keep coming in. Wes, we're at 107 subscribers.
Yeah, it's jumped phenomenally in the last week or
3
so.
days.
Yeah. It seemed to be stuck at 100. I don't know what was going on, and that's fine. We're not asking for anything. We're just two guys talking about wrestling history, doing what we like to do. And if you subscribe, that's awesome. We love you. We want to give you a hug and a kiss. But 107, we jumped that much in about a week, and I'm so excited. Our views are up phenomenally. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you did the math, right?
Yes, I did the math. We're practically at 5,500 views.
Like, bro, it's insane. We never.
If I had jumped, I'd go on like this, like Neil Peart. Because I got my chair.
And by the way,
pardon?
So everybody knows.
He's dead.
Rush. But yeah, no. Speaking of the views, so I went down, and I wanted to see, since we're talking about our 25th episode today, what is our top 5 episodes?
Hang on,
I have it all down.
There we go. Sorry.
And I was looking at the time and views. So I kind of mathematically did it out. So number 5, maybe you don't even know this yet, right?
No, go ahead. Surprise me.
Okay, so number 5 is Nature Boys of Ontario Part 1, Buddy Rages.
Okay, cool.
That was a fun one.
That was a great one.
Yeah.
And we got tons of feedback on that one too, didn't we?
Yeah, I loved it. Seriously, I love when people comment and they share our videos and give us support. Love it. Number 4 is Great American Bash 88 in Detroit.
I love doing that episode too. That was so much fun. So much fun to talk about something where you actually were. That was cool.
Yeah, that's the best part about that episode, because you were there.
Yeah.
So to relive it again, kind of, and explain how it went down was kind of cool. Number 4 is Rocca and Valentine versus the Fabulous Kangaroos in Madison Square Garden.
1961. That was a great card to cover.
Again, first time that we talked about the Kangaroos too.
And first time second time we've gone to New York, but there's a big difference between 82 or whatever it was with Superstar Graham and Dusty Rhodes, and then this one in 1961. So yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Number 2 was the original Seek with Brian Solomon. That's for Johnny.
Yeah.
It's for Johnny. A little Johnny action here. Johnny loves doing this.
Watch the episode, we'll talk about.
Exactly. Number 1, this blows my freaking mind. Maple Leaf Wrestling Night of Champions, Flair versus Race. I don't know how YouTube works, but we're over 2,000 on that one. And I'm just like,
Jesse, I just checked. It's 2 away from 2,500.
yeah, like what the hell is happening right now? I love it, bro.
I've asked people, because I have people, I've asked people, how come our little podcast is going what to me seems like crazy? And
Yeah.
why would one video be so outstanding? Why would it be so high in views? And they said, a lot of people, when they check you out the first time, they go to the most popular one.
Yeah.
So that makes sense, right? Why would you go to the least popular one? Not that we have any unpopular ones. All ours are fantastic in our mind, right?
Yeah. Well, in our mind, yeah. And a lot of people got to remember too, our show is for everyone, right? So we have to do the 90s.
Yeah.
We have to do the 80s. We have to do 70s, 50s. You know, one day hopefully we touch the 40s and the 30s. But you know, I want somebody that's 15 or 14 to be like, what happened during the Attitude Era? And then be able to come onto our show and see some of the clippings and stuff and maybe go, oh, damn, okay, well, what happened before that? And then branch off, right? So
grasp a little bit of what led to this. How did that happen? If you want to ask the question, is a great one, is why did Hulk Hogan become Hulk Hogan? Because he's topical for such a large tons of age groups, right? From whatever to whatever. How did he get here? How did he transform into that? What made him? And we can go at length with Flair, Gorgeous George, right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's great to give a perspective, which we try to do on every episode, on what was transpiring in the business then, what was going on, what was happening. Yes, Jesse, you weren't alive. Yes, I've never been to old Madison Square Gardens in 1961, but we're giving our outlook on wrestling history, and I think it's working. I love doing it. Anyways, if it's not working, it doesn't matter. I love doing it.
Exactly.
And I ain't gonna stop.
So much fun. So much fun. To keep it again, guys, please share, comment, subscribe. Join us on Facebook at the official National Wrestling Clipping Alliance Facebook group. You can find us on the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance Ontario Wrestling Clippings of the Past group or the Wild Man Tribute page on Twitter at NWCA or at official NWCA1.
Yep.
And I mean, yeah, we're going to be everywhere. We're not stopping. We got a whole tour, the history tour.
Yeah, and we've got even better things than just the tour coming up. We're so excited. I'm not going to say anything, but we're so excited because our little podcast is just not going to be little anymore. Very, very soon.
Nope. Doors are opening, and the word opportunity is staring at us in the face, and we're taking fully advantage of that.
We're walking through that door.
I'm stone cold kicking my through glass break, smash the thing, chugging ginger ale, cranberry because it's the holidays, so it's back on the shelves.
What is it? What is this?
Cranberry ginger ale.
Oh yes, yeah. It's too sweet for me, but I like it. I got to keep my bones fluid so when I do get back in the ring,
everything's too sweet. Nah, that's for Johnny Boy.
Yeah.
Too sweet, Johnny.
Johnny's too sweet.
Okay, well, before we set the scene and get into this huge episode today, we want to remind all the listeners that we are sponsored by Grand River Tea. Grand River Tea is a premium loose leaf tea company run by a Canadian woman entrepreneur. You can now save 15% on your final purchases with Grand River Tea. Head over to their website, head over to their YouTube page or Instagram, and check out their wide variety of premium loose leaf teas. Put them all in your cart. They got holidays coming up. Yep. Everybody needs stocking stuffers. Get that tea.
Who doesn't love tea for stocking stuffers?
That's right. You're damn right, man. Get some Yopon. Get some I love their
purple tea.
Yeah, purple tea. You got this kind of tea. It's like Bro, it's like Forrest Gump with shrimp. This is the tea, okay? Got that kind of tea, this kind of tea, that kind of tea, this tea, and then sooner or later, you're going to run out of teas.
Yep.
But you know what you don't run out of? Saving money. Enter
Yep.
that code, NWCA at checkout. Save 15%. And Wes, with that out of the way, my friend, let's get in. Let's set the scene. Okay, we are April 24th, 1977. This is not only the 25th episode, this is also a fan-requested episode, Wes.
Cool.
So, Steve Pawson sent in the first fan request episode about the NWO, and we did that for him. Johnny and I have a buddy that we go to wrestling shows with, Alan, and he, the mayor, wants us to talk about Memphis. Every time I see this guy, he's like, you gotta do Memphis. Bro, do Memphis. So much there. So today, this is for him. Episode 25, we're doing fan-requested episode, Memphis territory, April 24th, 1977. 5 title matches. Want to know why? Because it's called the Parade of Champions, guys. We are talking about the Parade of Champions in Memphis.
I expect this would have been the big card of the year there.
You would assume.
I don't know why, but I don't know what the connotation for April 24th is. I mean, it might have been a late Easter, or I don't know. But there's someone pulled out the punches and just loaded this.
Cost the money.
Loaded
Jeff
this
Jarrett, bro.
Loaded it. And I'm looking at the ticket prices. Whoa. Holy smokes, Jesse. Have you seen the ticket prices? The Golden Circle front row, $25.
At 1977, $25.
That's a pile of money.
I'm doing the math.
That would have been, I'm guessing on how when I started working, that would have been about 2.5 hours worth of work, me working. I had a good job back in those days.
$122.
Yikes.
That's what it is today.
Ringside for 10, the risers for 6, the lodge for 5, and general admission $3. That's a pretty good, and I've got the attendance here, about 8,700. So
Mid-South Coliseum.
I got a calculator here too, just happened to be in my hand. Let's go 25 plus 10 plus 9, 14 divided by 5. That's 9.8 per ticket average times, what did I say, 8,700?
Yeah.
8,700, approximately an $85,000 house. That's 1977. That's a long time ago, buddy.
Jarrett Wrestling co-presents. Bro, man. They just talked about Memphis on that new show, Tales of the Territories. It was freaking great.
Was it?
Oh yeah, dude, you gotta watch that show.
I watched the Calgary one so far.
That one was great. I loved it.
It was pretty good.
We're gonna go to Calgary in about 7 or 8 episodes down the line. Check our history tour on our pages.
Yes.
Wes, since we're talking about 77, let's set the scene like we always do.
I'm gonna set my scene here to get ready to name off the
You're gonna headbutt the fucking camera. You're like, ah! You're gonna like a duel of the camera, bro.
Did I blind you with that?
No, I'm just gonna get you a fork. Ah!
Or I could just do this.
Oh my god, dude, I would die if you did a show like that. Champions. The NWA champion by April 24th, 1977. Harley Race. Why? He's on the card.
On the card. That's
He's on the card today. The AWA champion, Nick Bockwinkel.
77, yeah.
Oh, whatever. I watched the episode on AWA that Tales of the Territories did. It's all right. I mean, he was more about the wrestling and not the show, right? So, the WWF champion was Bruno Sammartino. That would have been his second run, I do believe.
Nothing wrong with Bruno.
Yeah, you don't even like him, so don't even try to sell that shit.
No, I've been watching a lot of Bruno on YouTube recently.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm not going to change my opinion of his wrestling style at all, because it blows. but man, the guy exuded 25,000 people at Madison Square Gardens just going berserk because he's coming down the aisle, right?
Coming
Didn't
down
have
the aisle.
Didn't have to do anything. Couple of punches, a couple of kicks, throw Superstar Graham against the fence of the wire cage. Ah, man. And the best one was I watched the cage match between Superstar Graham and Bruno.
Yeah.
And they did the same finish that used to be on the Wildman matches when the Sheik would fight someone in the cage.
Really?
Yeah. The champion's over by the door, but you don't know that he's over by the door. And he's trying to get up. He's pretending he's trying to get up on the ropes because he's sitting on the apron. And the other guy comes out and gives him a big kick, and he kicks him through the door, and he wins. How lame, but it was what it was, right?
It was what it was.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. Today, like we said, we're in Memphis. Alan, this is for you. Here's the card. Let's get a look at that.
Yeah.
5 freaking title matches. Parade of Champions, bro.
Unbelievable.
Mid-South Coliseum, bro. Oh, my God. And the names. Wait till we do this rundown.
I don't know what the actual attendance figure when a sellout on that building would have been, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe 10,000 at the most, because it wasn't really that big of a building. It wasn't like a superstar NHL hockey rink or anything.
There still isn't a hockey team in Memphis.
No.
I don't think. Fuck, they know about hockey. Okay, let's do the card rundown, brother. You want to do it? You want to start it off?
Hit me with the Gibson brothers and Gorgeous George Jr. They won over Pat McGuinness and Ken Dillinger and George McQuarrie. So that's pretty interesting because we've got Ken Dillinger, who was at once one of the Hells Angels with Chris Colt. Pat McGuinness, who we talked about on another card somewhere in a different name.
So this must have been after the Hells Angels incident then.
Yeah. Oh, way like years past.
But the one guy didn't wrestle then ever again.
No,
He
one guy got
shot in the leg.
Shot in the leg, and so there was Chris Colt, and there was maybe 3 or 4 other guys who played with him.
What the? What the hell is this guy saying, bro? Why did you say tagged with him, man? Like, why you gotta go that deep, bro?
Gorgeous George Jr. He was a pretty big star in the South, and he also wrestled for the Wild Man first season in 1971.
Oh, really?
Of course, the Gibson brothers, one went on to huge fame, Robert, and one didn't. And I think Rick Gibson was deaf, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And their dad was a referee there, Paul Morton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yep.
Next.
I won't be.
Before you can tell somebody they're playing with somebody else again, Jesus.
Well, I know that Dick Steinborn was playing the Gladiator, so he lost to Paul Orndorff, and that Orndorff would have been probably at that time just spectacular.
Dude, I would have loved to see Orndorff in
tough as nails.
I tell this to AC all the time. I find a lot of guys are better and then they get watered down in the WWF.
You're kidding.
Shut up. But I mean, I guess it kind of helps put perspective on how you fans got off the wagon. Like here you are watching Dusty Rhodes cutting mass promos against Ric Flair in the late 70s, early 80s, and then he's overweight polka dot guy with Sapphire. I mean, that's what I grew up with, so that's the only Dusty I knew before I started researching and being exposed to videos and stuff like that.
There's nothing wrong with that. If that's your heroes when you were growing up, that's your heroes. Cool, good for you. And you don't have to go backwards and look at anything else if you choose not to. It doesn't matter. You've taken it upon yourself to do that. And Truthfully, yes. That's why so many people jumped off the bandwagon, because they saw guys like Terry Funk going in there, and Dory Funk couldn't even take the strain of it. It probably blew his mind. Oh, Haas Funk. No, 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 God, my name is Dory Funk Jr. I've worked 25 years making my name as a traveling champion around the world, and you're going to call me some stupid name that you made up. And I don't need it. Like, I'm leaving. See you. Bye-bye. But I appreciate you saying that, just because that's
It kind of puts perspective on things.
yeah, it's going to make all the people my age go, oh, that's awesome, Jesse. I'm happy that you get it.
Yeah, well, it's true, right? Like, I can only imagine how much of a badass Paul Orndorff was in Memphis in '77. The man was massive.
Yeah.
He was jacked.
Yeah.
That guy's like a truck that broke down on the 401, jacked up, bro. Like, he is up. It's scary. But then, like I said, then you go to WWF and he had a really good WWF career. Like, you can't take it away. What he did with Hogan in '86 and all that kind of stuff.
He was a superstar in '86. Yeah, he was a superstar.
WrestleMania 1 and all that with Piper. So, you can't take anything away from him. I love him. So,
yeah, as do I.
And the Gladiator, you don't really have anything?
Dick Steinborn, guy basically out of the Florida territory. He was probably working up there or came up with someone.
In '77, Eddie Graham's running Florida, no?
Yeah. Well, he might have left the territory by then.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure when he decided to put himself out of his own misery.
True.
Dick Steinborn. We have Dick Steinborn on the Madison Square Garden show. From one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Fuck, see, and now 77, the man's still kicking, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Great shape, too.
Excellent.
Next match. Now, it says here on the ad, and I have a hard time believing this. I don't think this is true. I really, really don't think it's true, but I don't know. There's no pictures existing of who these guys were. Ron and Robert Fuller, who were the promoter, part of the promotion, and Tennessee Stud. That's who it was. They became one of them. Could be Tennessee Stud, right, in the WWF.
Okay.
Versus the Executioners, and it's got here that they're the WWF Tag Team Champions. I have a hard time thinking that Kowalski and Stud, or Kowalski and whoever, went down to Memphis to work a show, but they might have.
Never know.
We could have researched Kowalski and seen where he was in '77. He was running his school in Massachusetts by that time, so he can, who knows. But the Fullers won.
The Fullers. Easy on the Pepsi.
The son was brutal. He's like a string bean, 6'5" string bean. Should have never been in wrestling, except his daddy was a promoter.
You guys all hate on small guys, but now your old school mentality is rubbing off on me, because when I go to indie shows and I see really small guys, it pisses me off. And I'm like, damn you, Wes! You're fucking thinking.
All right. First title match coming up.
Every other match now is always a title match now. Yeah. Imagine that. All right, let's get in the first one.
Southeastern Tag Team title match. Champions Tommy Rich and Bill Dundee versus Pork Chop Cash and Norval Austin. So,
Imagine, I would have loved to see Tommy Rich and Bill Dundee, bro, as champions.
I would have just loved seeing Tommy Rich. I like Tommy Rich. Although he was, I liked him. He's a great bleeder. Oh my God, he was a great baby face for the girls. Right up until he went to ECW, and he was still good then. He was great in ECW. What did he portray there?
What? In ECW?
Yeah.
Tommy Rich?
Yeah.
I have no clue, actually. God damn it. Why you gotta do that?
Bill Dundee, another short guy.
Yeah.
But really, really talented, and was a long, forever fixture in Tennessee. I think he must have owned part of the territory with that other guy. What's his name? Jerry something? That Jerry guy might have been on this card. I'm not sure, but
Jerry Jarrett.
no, Jerry, the guy who beat up Andy Kaufman, Jerry.
Baller.
Yeah.
You're a
Pork
joker.
Chop Cash in Orville, Austin. A couple of talented guys for sure. Like no one's going to deny they weren't talented. I don't know why they were. I have no idea what they were portraying at this time, what they were doing. Pork Chop Cash was a second generation wrestler, and Norval Austin was really famous because he was a tag team partner of Sputnik Monroe way back when Sputnik was integrating the black and white wrestlers and the black and white fans in the South.
Oh, damn.
Sputnik Monroe would go to black cafes, black restaurants, hang out, have coffee, be cool with everybody, and he got arrested many, many times. And he would go up to the black section of the. I know I'm saying this; it's true.
No, you got it's, but history. That's how it works.
Yeah, they go up to the black section of the arenas and invite the people down and like screw them. I don't care. This is no good. This is no good. This is BS, which obviously it is. We know that now, but he was standing up back then. So Norval Austin was probably one of the coolest guys on the card if we ever would have had a chance to meet him.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
White. I looked up the Tommy Ritt ECW, the Big Don.
Yeah.
And the full-blooded Italians.
Full-blooded Italians. That's what it is. Yeah, I knew it was something.
The FBI, bro, Nunzio.
Yeah.
I've met Nunzio. He was really cool, man.
Okay.
Really nice guy. Next match would be the NWA World Tag Team title match. Champions Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan defeat David Schultz and Bob Orton Jr. Talk about a tag match.
Yeah. I imagine this might have been the Florida NWA World title because Jarrett didn't have an NWA World title or a tag team title. They just had the Southeastern title and the state titles.
Yeah, and the ad does say Jarrett Wrestling Co. presents Parade of Champions.
Yeah.
So co-presents. So I'm sure.
Steinborn, Dick Steinborn was a Florida guy. He's on the card, and Sullivan and Graham were obviously Florida tag team champions at the time. Also, Graham, I like Mike Graham. We never got to see him up here at all. Eddie's son. But
Dusty and Tommy Gilbert are on the card. We're going to get to there soon, but they're also Florida people, no?
Tommy Gilbert, not as much, no. Tommy Gilbert was pretty much a Tennessee, Nashville kind of guy, yeah.
All right.
David Schultz, what else do we have to say?
Yo, one of the baddest men on the planet, bro.
You look at him in the WWF, knocking out John Stossel, and then you go backwards, 5-6 years, and go, he must have been just a shit kicker.
Yeah, man. Yo, that show, you saw the Calgary Stampede episode?
Yeah.
He hits a guy with a hockey stick. A fan, bro.
Yep.
That's, oh my God. And like to think he's sitting there and he's like he's a heel, so he'd be tagging and then Stampede, he'd be tagging with Abdullah and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. And I can only imagine Bob Orton Jr. and Schultz, the heat they got.
Yeah.
They were probably hated, bro.
I got a really
even though Schultz is from down there, no? He's from the Tennessee area. David Schultz, I'm pretty sure he's from Tennessee area, no?
Yes. He's southern boy.
Yeah, but they're definitely the heels in the match for sure.
Yes, he's got a great accent. I love his accent.
Yeah. Welcome to WWF, baby.
Yeah. It's great.
Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan.
Well, what do we say about Kevin Sullivan?
I listen to his podcast. I love him on the shows that he's on, the historical shows. He worked for the Wild Man in 86.
Yep.
And 87 or just 86?
2 seasons, I think they came up. May have been 85 and 87 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a great Boston accent too. I love, because I have lots of relatives in the Boston area. I love his accent, and he still got it sharp as hell. Park the car. Gonna park the car and get a beer.
Yeah. Mike Graham.
like I said, we never got to see Mike Graham other than in the magazines because he didn't leave Florida. Why would you? Your dad's the promoter, you know?
Yeah, true, I guess.
So yeah, and the funny thing about Mike Graham is I like this idea. So you got Dr. Jerry Graham,
Yeah.
who wasn't a Graham. You got his brother Luke Graham, who wasn't a Graham, and then you had Jerry and Eddie Graham teaming up, but they weren't a Graham either. And then Eddie had Mike, and then Eddie and Jerry and Luke's brother, superstar Billy Graham.
Yeah.
And none of these guys are related, right? Except for Eddie and Mike, who were father and son.
Jesus.
And then then we've got a guy in one of our groups. I think his name is Jerry Jaffe, and he was Dr. Jerry Graham Jr. So he was in the ring a lot in the WWA. So there's 6 guys who lived that Graham phenomena.
Phenomenon.
And nobody was a Graham.
You know how much a gram costs?
Never mind.
Actually, you mention it. Yeah, that would have been sick. But would you rather see Mark Lewin and Kevin Sullivan tag or Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan?
I'd rather see Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan because they would have been baby faces. They would have had to wrestle.
Yeah.
Lewin, then they would have just beat on their opponents, right?
Yeah, this isn't before he got the old dungeon.
Yeah,
this is where I like all you people. Yeah, okay.
Carving shit on his forehead upside down.
Before we continue, Tommy Rich, Bill Dundee, Robert Rick Gibson. I'm just like, where's Cornette on this? Is he there, you think? Or no?
I don't. I think he might have been photographing by this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Photographing and writing, you think?
Yeah, I can check my magazine. I got a magazine here, and I can just quickly check. Let's see what it says here. Jerry Lawler photograph by Jim Cornette.
Let's see. Show it.
There's the picture, and let's just quickly up here. Right here, second from the top, Jim Cornette.
Yeah. Don't worry. There'll be a B-roll.
Yep.
Show that. Next title match, Wes.
Oh man, National Wrestling Alliance Southern Tag Team title, which would have been the big title in Memphis, right? That would have been the big tag team title.
Yeah.
Phil Hickerson and Dennis Condrey with their manager Rock Hunter versus Dusty Rhodes and Tommy Gilbert. Dusty Rhodes coming to town to face the Phil Hickerson and Dennis Condrey. We're gonna come out there and we're gonna rock this town because it's the Parade of Champions, baby. Oh yeah. Oh, shoot the driving.
I love it, bro.
Oh, Dusty.
I don't really do a good Dusty Rhodes, baby.
Oh man, I just, for a big fat guy, he was so exciting and so entertaining. The first time
he put on good matches.
Oh, he was great. He did what he did.
Well, it's amazing.
So when he was in the AWA, I watched a bit of AWA, old ones from the 60s. He was bizarre because he could do elbow drops from the top rope and all sorts of shit, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, by this time he was completely in his gimmick of being the American Dream, right? And the champions won the match. And the Tommy Gilbert, of course, is Eddie Gilbert's dad, right? Dusty Rhodes, of course, is another dad of some famous guys. I don't know, can't remember what their names are.
Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes is one of the best ever.
What's his kid's name? Just Dustin?
So his kids would be Dustin Rhodes, which is Gold Dust.
Yeah, and Cody.
And then Cody Rhodes, who's bro, that man tore his shoulder pec.
Yeah.
And he wrestled. He wrestled like this. It was purple and everything, bro. And he's like, I couldn't let the fans down.
Yeah.
And then he had to go have surgery and stuff. But I'm sure he'll be back very soon.
Yeah. Phil Hickerson and Dennis Condrey. Phil Hickerson was another kind of chubby guy, but he was really, really good. Worked mostly tags his whole career, and nothing wrong with that. Dennis Condrey, of course, was one of the first, What's Jim Cornette's tag team called?
Rock and Roll Express.
No, the opponents of them.
What do you mean?
Jim Cornette and the
Midnight Express. Midnight. Fuck.
Yeah. Condrey was one of the first guys in the Midnight Express with Bob Eaton.
Yes.
Yeah.
Bobby Eaton and Dennis Condroy.
Yeah.
Corny talks about him all the time on his podcast. All the
Rock
time.
Hunter.
Yeah.
As a wrestler. And he worked up here in Ontario in the 60s a lot. Like he probably spent 2 seasons up here working for Tunney.
Really?
Yeah, as a manager and as a wrestler. Yeah. Him and Rip Hawk tag teamed up here a lot.
Yeah, that's right. I think I have clippings with Rip and Rock tagging back in the 60s against guys like Sweet Daddy and stuff.
Yeah.
Sweet Daddy.
Yeah, so Tommy Gilbert he was basically a stay-home kind of guy in Tennessee. Taught Eddie everything he knew. He was like Cornette. Eddie started hanging around, doing photographs. Of course, Terry Justice jumped all over Eddie like soon as he even became 16 years old, and they had a really great relationship. Eddie actually came up to shows in Toronto as a fan, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Before he turned into a wrestler, and he was really small when he first started too, but he turned into. I loved watching Eddie Gilbert wrestle. He was so good, especially as a heel. Especially as a heel. And when
didn't he have a baby face look to him?
Oh yeah, like except when he grew his beard out. Yeah, but he was young looking, so young looking. Yeah, he had to grow a beard because people wouldn't take him seriously. He just looked like a young kid. When Eddie Gilbert in the UWF had Sting and the Diabolical Warrior as a tag team, oh man, they were good. And Eddie Graham was fantastic. Or Eddie Gilbert was really good. I liked him a lot. I think I saw him in Buffalo wrestle.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe Eddie Graham and Terry Funk or something, or I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Next title match. NWA Southern Heavyweight title match. Champion Jerry Lawler defeats Jack Briscoe. That would have been a fight.
Yeah.
That would have been a fight.
It would have been obviously Lawler was healing at the time, and he switched back and forth so many times. He did spend a lot of time in his early years as a heel, and he was really good at it. He was never take anything away from him. No. I don't care what you say. We never saw him up here at all. We never only saw him in the magazines, right? But watching him now. He had ring psychology like crazy. It was so cool. He could stop the whole auditorium just by stopping the match in his own way. He had a great psychology in the ring. Yeah. I like Lawler so much.
I mean, I know Lawler from commentary, really.
Mm-hmm.
Puppies.
And
then like now I research and you learn about the Andy Kaufman stuff. And that was gold. Soap. You take it with your creek and you clean your skin. I'm like, imagine that, like, and then Lawler pile drives him and like breaks his neck. Like, oh man, that we could talk about a whole episode about that.
We at the time, you have to remember, this was just still a closed thing. It was so closed, right? It was so secretive and everything. And what they did on television, like on the talk shows and stuff, just blew people's minds. Because they did it so well, right? They just did it so well. It was a complete work, but they did it so well. It was fantastic. And Kaufman took it like a stud, just like a stud, right? Worked the angle, took it like a stud, worked everything out after the fact. It was great.
Briscoe. Are you a fan of the Briscoe brothers?
Yes, as the Briscoe brothers, yeah.
The tag?
Yeah.
You don't like them separate?
Oh, they were so good as a tag team, and they were great faces. And then when they turned heel, they were arrogant, great wrestlers. But yeah, Jack Briscoe, hey, he was a world champion. he wouldn't have been, if he didn't hold the championship belt, he wouldn't have been able to. I mean, if he didn't have the talent, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're not gonna take anything away from anybody ever because we never stepped foot in the ring. So
No.
you were touring National Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion for more than 12 months, 18 months he was. Come on, you had to have something.
Exactly. You know, money talks, right?
Yep.
Back then too. What do you think the Southern Heavyweight title match? That's probably their biggest title in Memphis, right? With
Definitely.
Lawler being champion.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, it's time for the main event.
Yep. I it would have been a good match because these two guys could go, no doubt
Talk
about
about
it.
this
Right?
man right here.
Yep.
The King. Look at him. That's 77, bro. This is the same year. This
Oh, cool.
On the back of the picture, it says August of 77.
Nice.
And then I got another one of him and Bob Backlund. I got these off the Tom Burke auctions.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man. Champion Harley Race versus the Canadian Rocky Johnson. What a match. Like, what a card.
Yeah, it's a great card. And Rocky, as we've recently found out, wasn't the greatest human being in the world. But on the same note, he would never have been in the main event if he couldn't work. And he was so exciting in the ring. He had moves. He was ridiculously agile, and oh man, could he throw a drop kick? And he was a stud too. He's a studly looking guy.
I have a picture here. This is real. So this is a sweet ebony diamond. So
Yep.
it's Rocky Johnson in a mask.
Yep. They
That's a real autograph too. That was confirmed by our friend Barry Hatchett from the Maple Leaf Wrestling Archives group.
Oh, okay, cool.
He's like, bro, that's legit. He's like, that's legit. I'm like,
Nice.
solid. But who cares, man? Like Rocky Johnson, Harley Race. Harley Race beat obviously Rocky Johnson, but it's like the main event with Harley Race. Obviously, he's the draw.
Yes.
Right? Like he's the NWA. Oh, the NWA champion's coming to town.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Big champion's coming to town.
We got to find and at the time, they could have put Lawler against Race as for like double title match, but they're both heels, so they had to do something, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why Jack Briscoe came in. He wasn't working in the area at the time. Maybe just kind of like a flying guy. Maybe he came up from Florida with the Florida guys because
because there's a ton of Florida guys here.
They got a Briscoes have a big attachment to Florida, right?
Yeah.
But Johnson probably was the top face in Memphis at the time.
Really?
And he was main event everywhere he went, just about.
Yeah.
He could do it. He could do it. He was very exciting in the ring. He was a great promo man. I sat at a table with him at one of the Titans dinners. He's pretty cool to talk to, but I didn't really get the chance to talk to him that much, but briefly anyways. Yeah.
Greg's got to do another one of those things.
Pardon me?
Greg's got to do another one of those things.
Yeah. Maybe I'll fly down.
He's so busy though. All the time. Whatever.
He's doing what he does, right? And good for him. I'm happy for him.
Wes, out of all these matches that we just talked about,
spectacular card, just spectacular. And like I said, I don't think that I don't know what the full capacity of that arena is, but 700 people paying $85,000 or whatever we thought, that's a lot of money. That's a good turnout, a great show.
Out of all the matches we just talked about, which one do you want to watch the most? If you had to, but you can't, you can only pick one.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd probably pick, probably the National Wrestling Alliance World Tag Team title with Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan.
Really?
Versus, Orton and Schultz. Just to see Schultz in his prime and to see Mike Graham and Kevin Sullivan wrestle clean.
Fair enough.
And you?
I don't know. I'm a coin toss between the Race and Lawler match. And if I had to pick one, I'm probably gonna go Lawler Briscoe, just to say I saw Lawler in Memphis.
Yeah, I have to admit, I would probably rather see Jerry Lawler, tell you the truth. Yeah.
Right? There's a lot of race matches out there that I would prefer to see,
Yes.
right? But to see Lawler in Memphis, I think that would be an experience. Let us know what
I
you
don't know how
guys.
much. I don't know how much Memphis you've watched on YouTube. I haven't watched a lot, but I've watched it quite a bit. And watching Jerry Lawler now,
Mhm,
he's so good. He
right?
was so good. No wonder he was the king there for so long, both just not in ring presence, but the king of the whole world in Tennessee, right? He was. He probably walked on water there.
Yeah. Didn't you find this card in a book too? Didn't you say?
Yeah, it's in I bought I got this book from, I'm not sure if I got it from AC or from Jim Connolly. I'm not sure. It's Global Wrestling's Yellow Pages of Wrestling. Tom Burke put this out many years ago. And I just thought, oh, I just thought I'd take a look to see if I could find something on Tennessee in here. And I was flipping through and I found it has all the different areas: North Dakota, South Dakota, Alabama, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, blah, blah, blah. Canada, it's all over Canada and the world, Mexico, Japan. And I found Tennessee, and I just trying to find my alphabet here. T for Tennessee, Pennsylvania, Tennessee. Yeah, so it's right front and center right there. And it's
Wow.
it just gives it doesn't say anything about the cards. It just gives a rundown on who's the promoter, when the shows are, phone numbers to call, ticket prices and stuff like that. So we'll post that also at the B-roll.
That's crazy.
And we've got a really cool picture of Bill Dundee.
All right. I love that magazine, man. Those are the
And
best ones.
of course, I showed that one already.
Yeah.
And I've got some pictures inside there also that we'll post. And I've got actually quite a few pictures I've got a nice picture of Condrey and Hickerson. So that's cool too. On the phone.
On the phone,
On
like
the phone.
always with you. Let's start to wrap things up here, my friend. Next week,
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. I don't want to say anything.
You don't want to bring it up?
No. I want to maybe tweak some people on the Facebook pages, what might be coming up, and then we'll go from there. Unless you want to. If you want to, go ahead. If you're excited about it. I know I'm excited about it. I'm not saying I'm not, but
No, I'm not saying what we're doing tomorrow. Next week we're doing the other book one, right?
Vance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Well,
Okay.
we've got shows piled up here. I didn't want to
Yeah.
step.
So yeah. So next week we have the author coming on our show, Vance, Nevada. From Uncontrolled Chaos, the history of Canadian professional wrestling.
Yeah. And the book is like 17 miles thick. And he had a fantastic introduction by yours truly. Who,
Buddy, you butchered the intro.
I thought about it all night long. And I was like, how could I do that? What was I thinking? I was not thinking at all. I just,
This is the second movie. It's all right. But he came on the show. We talked the book. We talked some history. And yeah. And then after that, we're going to Hawaii.
Yep.
With another big card with Gene Kiniski and the Sheik tag teaming. So, bro, talk about a heat magnet. Heat magnet. We've never been to Hawaii before.
We got some Canadians on the card.
Yeah. That's right.
Not too many, but actually I'm running them down here, and there
Rocky
is
Johnson.
one.
Yeah.
That's it. One.
Guys that work for the Wild Man.
But I mean, Rocky Johnson was a pretty big Canadian star. Long career, main evented everywhere. Wildman guys, Gorgeous George Jr. worked up here for the summer 1971.
Kevin Sullivan.
Kevin Sullivan, yes. Ken Dillinger worked as one of the I think he actually worked here also for the Wild Man as Ken Dillinger and as maybe one of the Hells Angels. We don't know who the executioners were, but let's just assume one of them was Killer Kowalski. He worked for the Wild Man. Tommy Rich never worked for the Wild Man. And that's it, kids. That's it, kids, for the Wild Man.
That's it, kid. And like we said, next week we got Vance coming on the show. And then the week after that, we're in Hawaii. We did do a Facebook post about our huge history tour. I got all the cards right here in my hands.
Nice.
All the cards that we are going to do. Everything has been pulled out. Everything is in order. We're going to make some pit stops along the way, throw some surprises at everybody. Life is life and things happen, but we're going to keep trying to pump these things out for everybody to keep enjoying the show. I'd like to remind everybody again to please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share with your friends, share our page, comment. Let us know what your favorite episodes are. We named the top 5 from our perspective and our views and how much they've been up. Let us know what your favorite is.
Yeah.
Join us on Facebook group. Almost 3,000 people are following the NWCA everywhere between the Ontario Wrestling Clippings of the Past group, the Wild Man Tribute page, and of course, the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance group. We do not have a page. We are only groups. Okay, we don't have a like page. We got a message. You have a like page. No, we don't. It's just easier for us to do groups because there's 3 of us. You can follow us on Twitter at official NWCA1. And yeah, Wes, want to thank Grand River Tea for sponsoring the show. Johnny G, always editing our show. The man behind the scenes, the man nobody sees, but he does more work than fucking everybody.
Well, all you have to do is take out the episode that he was on with us.
Yeah.
And that will be fine. Everyone can get to see what Johnny G looks like. He's really misfortunate and with that thing on his head. Don't say anything about it, but yeah.
So yeah, Vance next week, Hawaii week after. Follow us on Facebook. This is gonna be freaking great. Watch through the credits, see everything that we just talked about. 25th episode, man. I can't thank everyone enough for just following us and giving us a chance, man.
Me also. We're so excited. My wife is just blown away. My daughter is absolutely blown away by what's going on. She's like, I can't believe it. What are you doing? A coworker said, "What the hell are you guys doing to get that quick?" And I said, I don't know if it's quick. I don't know if it's slow. I have no idea. We've nothing to gauge it on other than we're just 2 guys who like professional wrestling history and we like sharing what we have, our collections and our knowledge, what little bit of that we have, and our Facebook group. So we're just doing what we love, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I started to prep for next year. I've already got the January and February Ontario folders done. Now I got to do the January and February NWCA group. There's a lot of group. Social media is a job, okay, for us.
I try to post 6 things a day, and I just post stuff, but I mean, I'm trying to make it pertinent. I'm trying to make it interesting, and my phone has, I don't know, like 4,500 pictures on it. So I'm just cycling through what I have. I'm always researching topics. I'm always looking at something, helping people out, what we do for tagging people on posts, looking at things that people that might not be group members of different groups that we watch and look at to help them out find relatives of those who wrestled and stuff like that. It's been just so exciting. Jesse, I'm trying to take your lead, and I'm going to start correlating all the stuff in my room here. I got binders, I got pages. I just don't not know where to start. I got thousands and thousands and thousands of pages of clippings that, with with one page with 4 clippings on it, do I post that in that one? Do I post in that one? Do I post it in the year?
Yeah.
There's stuff on the other side. What do I do?
I know. It's crazy.
You would, if I wouldn't even show people because it's embarrassing, because there's just piles on a table here piles on my desk over there, piles here of paperwork, let alone with what's in the closet over there. Oh my God. Another box probably coming to you before Christmas of
God knows what.
Yep.
Works out for me every time.
Yep. Awesome. Thank you very much. Please, if you have the time and the effort, subscribe. We love you. We want to kiss you and hug you. Jesse, this is fantastic. 25th episode. How awesome is that?
Yeah. 25th episode, Memphis, Parade of Champions, fan requested. Alan, don't bother me and John anymore about Memphis when we see you on the Ontario indie scene anymore.
Yeah.
Next week, Vince, don't miss that episode. Only one way not to miss that, and that's by subscribing. Until next week, I'm Jess.
I'm Wes.
And we're out of here until next week. Bye.
Sayonara.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
I'm Jess.
And I'm Wes.
We are the National Wrestling Clipping Alliance. It's the NWCA podcast.
I love doing this, and I love you. In a cool wrestling history kind of way.
Hey, easy, man.